Now, as you mentioned, Mr. Raymond, one thing I've always actually wanted to ask you, why did you want to get involved in civic activity to begin with? I mean, you're a professional by trade. I think I read in your bio that you lectured in UWI at times and member of a board in different capacities. Why take the chance to be a civic activist?
Well, I just felt it was necessary because, they have that old-fashioned saying that to whom much is given, much is expected. And I think I've been given a great deal in different things for my family, my teachers. I had super teachers, really, really super teachers that got me where I am today. And of course, some of the professional people who mentored me. So the point is that we're not going to get anywhere by ourselves. Life could be seen as an individual journey, but we get there together. No man is an island. So I make the effort to improve the collective, okay? The effort to get involved in this is a very serious decision because you're exposing yourself to all kinds of criticisms. I have not felt myself in any kind of danger or threat, but you do get threats professionally in terms of the flow of work and so on. The flow of work is okay, It's all right. I think that there are really important things to be carved out here. The two cases that Mr. Maraj talked about are the CL financial case, which I'll talk about more later, and that is the largest ever expenditure of public money in the history of the country. There's nothing close to it. It's 25 billion and counting, okay? And nobody knows where the money went. Now, if you can't trust public officials, and I'm not speaking about any particular administration, because they're all painted with the same sort of brush, really, with one or two exceptions. If you can't trust public officials at $1 million, and you can't trust them at $2 million, how on earth could you trust them at $25,000 million? And that is what we're dealing with. With relation to Invaders Bay, which is the other case we're doing that is now in the appeal court, and that comes up for hearing on the 26th of May, we're dealing with a ministry that has decided to develop state lands, arguably the most valuable parcel of land in the country. It's waterfront land. In the west of the capital, it's flat land, it's service, there's lights, there's water, it's got access to the highways. And they're doing that in a process that is in breach of the law. The current law relating to ministries issuing tenders is the Central Tenders Board Act. And the Ministry of Planning became involved in a whole circuitous process. The legal word is circumvention, which just means to sidestep and duck. There was a calypso at Carnival about ducking. Yeah, Chiwari was ducking. Yeah? And they were ducking the law in an attempt to do a large-scale development. Everything about it is improper. There's not one thing about it that's improper. Everything about it is improper. And the most improper thing, like the icing on the cake, or in fact the cherry on the icing, is in fact that the minister claimed to have legal opinions that vindicated what he was doing. That's a popular word this week, vindicated. The minister claimed to have legal opinions that vindicated what he was doing. And when we asked the minister to see those opinions, we asked him 3 different ways. He was never able to show them to us. So in fact, we have this very strange creature now. You see, we don't want to talk about animals, but we have a strange creature. It's got a body looking one way, and it's got a face looking another way. So the history in the past, the pattern of conduct in the past in our country has been that an issue will arise, and the government will get opinions on it, whichever government it is. Sometimes they're legal opinions, sometimes they're technical, engineering, economic opinions. And generally speaking, I mean like 99 out of 100 times, if the opinion supports what the government is doing or what they want to do, they publish it. They get up at the post-cabinet briefing and they tell you that XYZ prominent lawyer, sometimes they would quote former President Ellis Clark or Mr. Daly or whoever, somebody from England or somebody would quote somebody, this person said this and what we're doing is right and so on. So we have a pattern, an established pattern of behavior in the country, whichever administration is there, that you obtain opinions on the issue in question. And if your opinions support what you're doing, you very calmly get up in a press conference. And basically this position is, I was right. And you explain why you were right. It appears in the next day's newspapers. But at Invaders Bay, and this is why it's a creature with a body that looks one way, And the face looks another way, like that calypso. We won't go into that. But at Invaders Bay, we have a creature where the body, we've been told that the body supports what they're doing. But the face of it is that they can't publish it because they have the right to withhold it and blah, blah, blah. Well, I say no. I say that is our land. It is being developed with our money. It is supposedly being developed for a public purpose. And the organization I have the honor of being president of, which is the Joint Consultative Council for the Construction Industry, which is an umbrella group for the construction, real estate, and property industry in our country. We took litigation against that decision to withhold that legal opinion, those legal opinions. We were successful at the High Court on the 14th of July last year, and we achieved what I would say, and I guess other people would opine on it, Mr. Maraj may opine on it later, we achieved what resembles a landmark victory, because we had a government holding to the principle of the privity, the confidentiality of a legal opinion, what is called legal professional privilege. And we had the court weighing legal professional privilege against what is called the public interest test, which is contained in the Freedom of Information Act at Section 35. Mr. Maraj wrote a good act. Section 35 has a lovely public interest test. And when the court weighed the two things, the judge eventually ruled that in a matter of this importance, the public interest would prevail. Of course, the government at once jumped into appeal mode. And we're in the appeal court. Our next hearing is on the 26th of May. And we're going down fighting. Okay, we're fighting on that principle of whether or not our land and our money and our development, supposedly in our interest, could be any kind of secret. You know, there are other issues to it, but I'll leave it there for now. But those are some of the things that animate me. And we need to have those issues ventilated. You can't get that kind of progress that we want to get in our time in private and in secret. Okay? Silence is the enemy of progress. We can't get it that way.